Warning. We are not journalists. We are not players. We aren't even in a union. We simply love the Premier League and happen to live in America. We are not experts. We will say dumb shit. Thank you and welcome to Premerica.
I've known you for ages, is all I've heard. All my friends are in love with Premerican boys.
Hello and welcome back to Premerica. I'm your host, Mike Weinberg, joined by my friends Michael Liberman and Sam Thomas. Premerica is your virtual hub for all things Premier League right here in America. We talk a little shop, we talk a little shit, and we keep you up to date on all things happening in the best league in the world. So grab your friends, let's talk Prem. But boys, we're going to start not with Prem today because we had an wonderfully exciting, exuberant, exhilarating, any other E's I can think about.
First match of the Champions League semifinals.
All right, hold on. We're gonna get. I'm sure it's gonna get tasty. But let's ease into it, Sam. So Champions League was this week. The two first legs of the semifinals, which was Bayern and PSG, and Arsenal and who was the other? Oh, Atletico Madrid. Those are the two games that happened. Sorry, the two games that happened. And I want to make a motion before we even start this. At one point, we made a joke. Emotion, emotion, not emotion, but both.
Oh, okay, got it.
I would like to make a motion that we one time had talked about maybe changing the name with something with La Liga. I want to call it Preme-liga because we could talk about Prem, La Liga, League One, and Bundesliga because
that's good.
Damn,
that's good.
Those games, those teams that we watched in those other leagues were infinitely more fun to watch than any fucking Premier League team we've watched in a long time.
Yes. So let me go first because I already have Michael on his. I can see Michael's face and he's already in his. I'm going to defend Arsenal face. So just pause. This is not only an attack on your team. So let me say a broader thing first because I see
all the other English teams that are left in the tournament. Gotcha.
No, I'm talking about the league, though, not just in the Champions
League. I know. I'm kidding.
It is feeling to me more and more like the comp of Big Ten basketball 5 to 7 years ago, where it was like just really good teams, really physical, beating each other up, and then you got the fluffy teams from the other conferences, or so it said, but then in the tournament they win. Listen, at the end of the day, to Michael's point, there's one Premier League team left. And it is the team that has objectively been the best Premier League team all year. That's the only team that's left standing in the Champions League, is the team that's been the best team in the Prem all year. And they just kind of were, at best, even against the team that's in fourth in La Liga. Like, that's just a fact. Now, separately, you have, I'm trying to be objective. Is that not a fact? Is Atletico Madrid not in fourth in the La Liga, and was it not a even game? If I said something wrong,
it's 1-1. Absolutely, but that was a pen on Eze all fucking day long.
Okay,
dude. That was a pen on Eze. Not because it was a penalty. First of all, I want to make this super clear.
No. This is a prime example where we are muting you. This is not what we're talking. We're not talking about the Arsenal penalty decision.
But you said it was even. I don't think it was. But okay.
Even the match, not the score. He's saying it was an even match.
It was a even
fine. Score.
Okay, fine.
If anything, they outplayed you in the second half.
They did outplay you in the second half, and even in the score was actually also technically correct. But Gyökeres flopped. We could go all day on those. But here's the deal. That's not even the point. That's not the point. This is the point.
No, Mike, too. Hold on. The point
is back to Sam. The point is back to Sam that, and we've talked about this. Are we beating each other up too badly that we have nothing left in the tank to play these teams? Or is it true that these teams are more exciting to watch in their style of football?
Because let me give you a different example. This was yesterday. This was Europa League, not Champions League. The Europa League semifinal has two Premier League teams in the semifinal, Nottingham Forest and Aston Villa, and they played a thrilling 1-0 where the one was on a penalty. By the way, it was a penalty where Luca Digne threw his hands up in the air because he thought the ball was out of bounds, and it hit his hand, and that was the only goal. So it was, again, a absolutely not riveting match. Now, that's worth noting. Like, because I don't know. Are we overreacting to PSG Bayern defining the other league's play styles? Absolutely. Like, that's not how every League One match is. It's not like teams are flying up and down.
fair.
Like, this is the two best teams in those respective leagues who both have a style of play but they both have a style of play of, we are going to try to score as many goals as we can, and as a result, we genuinely don't care if you score. There were some plays in that match, and like Michael, like, listen to what I'm saying, because I'm actually like, I'm going to jump on your side here for a second, if that's allowed. Like, there were some plays during the Bayern PSG match where I was watching the extended highlights and I'm like, wait, is anyone going to come up to stop him? There was a play where Michael Olise just dribbled the ball from about 35 yards out to 20 yards out at the top of the box and then stroked it into the net. And like, no defender came up to stop him. It's like, was that like intentional? It almost looked like they were just like, we agreed that we were just going to have as many goals as possible. So you could argue, I don't know, but at the same time, boy,
it was
that was the most fun. That was the most fun match.
It was a very fun match
I've ever seen. That was best. That was the most exciting. I was standing, screaming, yelling. I mean, the voice notes I sent you guys, like, you would have thought, Chelsea won 5-0 in a match. I was so excited.
We wouldn't have thought that.
I've never heard Mike more euphoric via voicemail ever.
Well, you will never hear that specific example, but that's how excited I was.
Yes, I see. Yes.
Okay. So I agree, Sam, with your points. Absolutely.
Stay
Mike,
macro, baby.
Stay macro, baby. Macro, like a mackerel. You know what I'm saying?
Did you see Eze's toes?
Okay. Listen. Okay. I totally agree. It was an absolute blast of a match. I mean, there were literally 9 goals in one game. That's absurd. When was the last time you saw 9 goals in one game? Free-flowing, skill off the charts. Absolutely. It was a ton of fun. But also, to your point, Sam, I wasn't seeing a lot of midfield play. I wasn't seeing a lot of defending. It was really just like a track match back and forth, which is a lot of fun to watch. And that was the style of that game. And then the Atleti and Arsenal game was a lot more of a, slugfest, defensive kind of stalwart type of approach. Totally different approach to the game. And I understand why people gravitate towards the Bayern PSG style, because it's objectively more fun. I'm never going to argue that at all. But I think there's an argument to be made that, like, who knows, like, which style actually will end up winning? We'll see. You know what I mean? And we could lose to Atleti next week, and it could be Atleti, PSG, or Bayern in the final. I still think it would be an interesting match, an interesting contrast of styles. And I think that is, I guess, the conversation I want to have, is that it's not just like, oh my God, these teams are so much better than these teams. It's that these teams are trying to do objectively different things than these teams are trying to do, and what's going to come out on top.
I agree. I think it was for me, it's the entertainment value is unquestionable. To say who's better, I mean, to your point, I mean, to this exact conversation, that whole point, Arsenal is winning the league, or tied, at the top of the league, has been the best team all season for a reason, because it does work. That style has worked. It's not fun to watch, but it has worked.
We also haven't lost in the Champions League.
Right. So I'm saying, that, to your point, that style can win you. I mean, we're seeing it. Will it all the way? We don't know yet, but can it get you into the very final hurdle of the conversation? Yes, for sure. I think that's true. But yeah, it's just objectively, like, there were a couple times Arsenal had a few pretty interesting offensive possessions, but honestly, some of the more exciting value that also came was also on some of, like, Julian Alvarez's kicks were sick.
He's incredible.
I just don't see a lot of that. Where are the Premier League teams that have those players who are doing that? And is it just because the defense is so
They're all on
stalwart?
one team. They're all on one team. They're all on Man City, frankly. Man City's the only team in the Prem that has that level of top-level attacking talent.
Yeah.
Liverpool usually does, but this year, no. But Liverpool should. Liverpool tries to do the balance. But here's what I'll say. The thing that is frustrating, the thing that was frustrating for me watching the Arsenal Atleti match was there are times where both teams get the ball and one of their creative midfielders has the ball and is looking forward and sees even numbers ahead of him. And about 5 times in a row, I counted it, that person pivoted and recycled the ball back to their back line. That's just objectively not that fun to watch. That being said, then that team retained possession for about 3 minutes, which also isn't very fun to watch, but is effective. And usually at the end of it, they got either a better chance or a corner or a free kick out of it. There was very few turnovers in that all that. So like it's the effectivity argument is saved for a different time, because I think Mike Weinberg, to your point, like it's shown that it works with Arsenal. But it's just on the reverse side, all the other match was guys just take whoever, I don't care who's in front of me. I just have the ball and I'm just going to go. And
which is fun.
It's just,
but aren't we
fun.
just trying to have fun, guys?
Well, but you know, this is why I'm anti VAR, why I think penalties are stupid, like all this kind of stuff like that. It's just like, it draws away the fun. But no, I mean, at the end of the day, you're in it to win it. You're in it to win.
It's one of those things where I've kind of come to terms over the course of the season that no matter what we do, Arsenal does, we're going to get hate for it. And I don't really care anymore. You know what I mean? Like,
but do you get it?
Yeah. It's not as fun to watch. I get it.
All right, good. He gets it. All right, he gets
it's not as fun to watch.
That's new news.
That's
new news for our audience.
It's not as fun to watch for people, but I don't care. I don't care, especially if we end up with one or both of these major trophies at the end of the season. I could care less what an Aston Villa fan sitting on their couch, it thinks about how our style of play. Like, I don't care. I did more towards the beginning of the season. I was like, why are people, getting on our case, and why aren't they backing us? And it's like, because people just don't like us, and that's okay. They don't need to like us if we win. You know what I mean? So if we end up at the end of this thing and have won one or both of these trophies, then like, c'est la vie, and that's kind of my new sort of stance on this whole thing.
Can I throw in? Can I real quickly just throw in one
words.
thing? And then we'll move on. I would like to bring it back to the fun game for a second, which was that the objectively fun game, the fun game, which it was. It was an unbelievable game. I said to you guys on a voice note, I was like, Michael Olise might be my favorite player, and then he scored, and I was like, that was outrageous. The way he's unbelievable. But I actually don't want to talk about
the way he
Olise.
Dribbled through no defense and then kicked it into the corner of the net.
Well,
cool.
The guy was that was the.
But agreed agreed up the middle. But when he was going around, was it Nuno Mendes who he just kept beating around a few times? Like that was the athleticism and it was incredible. Anyway, I actually don't want to talk about
level of skill.
I'd like to talk and then ask a question about Harry Kane, because Harry Kane's passing, not just the Luis Diaz one, which was outrageous, but Harry Kane's passing and his scoring. But like, was he always like that, or is that in his older age where he's a little slower?
No.
He just kind of hangs around.
Been sick for like a decade.
He makes very little movements. He just kind of lightly jogs around, and when he gets the ball, wherever he is on the pitch, he makes an exquisite pass or a shot.
Yeah. So first of all, just to clarify, it's Harry Kane MBE.
Okay. He's been tapped on the shoulders.
He's appointed a member of the Order of the British Empire, so he is Harry Kane MBE, and I would suggest that we refer to him as such.
But he's not a sir, right?
Can we call him Sir Harry Kane?
No. So Sir is no. So this
lower.
Is,
he's a lower designation.
Aren't we all rewatching Peaky Blinders here? Like Sir is the level above. Sir is knighthood. MBE comes first. It's like a distinction for the members of Parliament.
So he'll get that over time.
He will get Sir. He's a England World Cup win away from being Sir'd. And everyone knows
God.
That's
for all
easy.
of us, just
no, he's been doing that for forever. Like he's part of the reason that everyone's like, what happened to Tottenham? And it was like, well, you had one of the best players of the generation on your team.
The best English
single-handedly
player of the last decade.
Carrying you for a decade, then he left. Like he's
just
incredible.
Crazy to watch him play. It's like unbelievable. It's so simple. It's not athletic. It's precision. It's precision.
It's all positioning too. He always is in the right position, and he plays all the way at the top to all the way back. Like he plays the widest striker box I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Because he's also an exceptional passer. No, he is the real deal, and he has always been.
Yeah. That's why he's leading the line for Bayern and just crush it.
I
most
mean,
of
he
his
might win the
career
Ballon
at
d'Or
Spurs.
if they win the Champions League.
He's not in the
I
Premier
bet
League,
he
so
wins.
he's up for it.
Yeah,
he's
he's
up
got
for
a
the
better
award.
chance.
He's
He's
up
up
for
for
the
the
He's got a
award.
better chance.
But
Yeah.
you know what? You know what? After all this, I agree. I don't think Premier League players should be winning Ballon d'Ors. It's just not the beautiful
Not right
game.
now. Not right now. It's not the beautiful game.
Interesting.
Except
Interesting
I
that you have that take.
thought Salah should have
That
won it
none
last
of
year.
your players are even in the race. It's interesting that you have that take, Sam.
I
Yeah.
thought Salah
Well-
should have won it last year. But that's because we were playing a more beautiful game.
Ah,
More
yeah, it's
beautiful
all
game
about the
last year.
aesthetics.
All right, well, let's wrap this up. Let's wrap UCL. Let's get to our main meat topic of the week, which is we're back to Professor Sam's topic, where, of course, Professor Sam comes in and dissects a topic for us from an academic position, macro view, brings his wit to the table, and we are excited for you to be back with a new topic for us. And we couldn't decide what to call it, so we called it the midfield. Not really sure what we're talking about, but Sam, please enlighten us.
Yes, like any good class lesson, you got to leave a little bit
Yeah,
for the imagination to hook
Suspense.
people in.
Fair.
No, so I want to talk about the concept of a midfield alignment and midfield tactics, and I want to talk about it through the lens of Manchester United, because no team in this year's Prem has had a tale of two halves of the season quite like Man United has. And yes, they had a managerial change that was part of that, but part of the managerial change was a major tactic shift in the midfield. And I think I want to talk about that. I want to talk about a couple of players as such of that, because there's two players, in my opinion, that have defined the United season this year. Would you like to guess who these are?
Bruno Fernandes,
Yes.
Casemiro.
Bang. Well done. Wow. Back of the class, Michael. Nailed it.
Back of the class, middle of the class. Okay, thank you very much.
Middle of the class.
Back middle.
So
Back
very
Yeah.
much so. So
Right.
I kind of like, before even looking into this, it's just like the eye test is like, okay, so Casemiro, Mike Weinberg, you and I were talking about this at the beginning of the season. Like, the book on Casemiro was that he was like washed, completely washed. Like, why is he like barely even running anymore? Like, why is he still playing in the league, let alone for a Big Six club? He's now had potentially his best season as a club pro, you could argue. And then next to him, or importantly, no longer next to him, which we will get to, is Bruno Fernandes, who has had potentially the best creative midfield year in the Prem since the Kevin De Bruyne glory years. Michael,
And he
thoughts?
could
Maybe
surpass him.
like since the Mesut Ozil that one year he like set the record or whatever. But like, yeah, and Kevin De Bruyne probably.
Can I
more
ask a
recently.
question on that then? Then just for me as someone who wasn't watching
Yeah.
prime Kevin De Bruyne, would you say, because like I have a feeling about Bruno Fernandes, watching him, seeing him play, what was that? Is that what it was like
The
watching De Bruyne? Was it
difference-
even better, different? How can I
The
feel that?
difference, honestly, is that Kevin De Bruyne was doing it and winning like Premier Leagues. I think that is literally the difference. Like in terms of production, in terms of how effective they are, there really isn't much of a difference that I'm able to see. The big difference and the reason that Kevin De Bruyne, I think, will go down and more lauded and just like as like a Premier League legend. Bruno's a Premier League legend in his own right. Is that he was doing it winning trophies? Do you disagree, Sam?
No, I agree. But from a look and feel standpoint, it felt the exact same way. When you're watching an individual match, it was just like, this guy
That's
It's
sick.
just
Runs the ship.
better. He's
Yeah.
just better than everyone else, and he's going to create the goal, and then he does. And then it's
Or
like,
score it.
whoa,
And
that
he
was
does.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he's closing in on the all-time assist record, and he also has 8 goals to go along with it, which is fucking insane. So, anyway, those two players, midfield tactics. So I went back, and then I was like, all right, let me actually see if the data matches the eye test of this. And I went back and looked at a couple matches. So I've got FootMob pulled up here, FootMob, as always, on the iPad.
Thank you for our sponsorship.
So I went back and I looked at a couple matches in the first half of the year when Ruben Amorim was in charge of Manchester
RIP.
United and was playing his infamous 3-man at the back defensive system. But the interesting thing about the 3-man in the back or the 4-man in the back is that a lot of people focus on the 3 or the 4. Like, it's not really about the 3 or the 4. It's about what it does to your midfield. Because when you play 3 at the back, then you play a 3-4-3, or he was doing a 3-4-2-1. Sometimes he was doing a 3-4-2-1, and you know who was the 1 back in the early part of the season? Do you guys know who was playing a little bit as the 1? Like, as the striker? He was playing Mason Mount there.
Before he got hurt.
as the striker. So good. Anyway.
What? Really?
So, yes. So the 3-4-3. But then in the 4, you have 2 wide wing backs, which puts incredible amount of defensive responsibility and pressure on the two midfielders in the middle of the four, right? Following so far. So 3 at the back, 4 wide. So the wing backs are wide.
Yes.
So then these two midfield, you're basically saying, I want us to play super wide as a team. But then you're also saying that's going to leave these two midfielders with a ton of defensive space to cover. If you are going to run that formation, then in that midfield, you need 2 N'Golo Kante types. You need two of them. You need 2 rangy, fast, covering ground, defensive, maybe one more offensive, but you need guys that can range from side to side, make tackles.
Right.
Yes, exactly.
Declan Rice, someone like that.
Exactly. And instead, he was playing at the start of the year. So I looked back at, remember that Man United Arsenal match, the first match of the year or whatever, just like kind of
trying to forget.
A snooze fest, and it was, no, you guys won this one, but it was just like
I know, but it was
just like
brutal.
An awful match.
Yeah.
Even everyone was just like, that was horrible to watch.
Is that the one we watched in person at the bar?
And we watched it with Lindy at my apartment.
That was bad. Yeah, at Seven Sins.
But basically I went back and checked in their midfield, it was Casemiro next to Bruno Fernandes in those 2 roles. Could not be worse than what you need. And then, by the way, the 3 above was Cunha, Mbuemo, and Mason Mount as the striker. So that didn't work for either of them because Casemiro doesn't have the legs to be that rangy with his defense. And Bruno Fernandes is a fucking attacking player. So you're asking 2 people to do what they cannot do, and you're pairing them up together in the midfield. Now, you go ahead to this part of the year where, let's take, just for an example, the other Man United Arsenal match, the one that Man United won 3-2, or, because I'm not trying to do that, let's take the 3-1 Man United over Villa match that happened a month later. Both those matches were big matches for United. Let's do the Villa one. Then you look at the lineup, and it's a 4-2-3-1. But what's most important about that is that the 2 was Casemiro paired up with, guesses? Who was his midfield? Who's been his midfield pairing now with a resurgence?
Is it Kobe Mainoo?
Exactly. It's Kobe Mainoo.
Who's fast, young and fast.
Who's exactly the profile.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
And by the way, the hilarious thing about Kobe Mainoo is that he was so ran out by Ruben Amorim that it was the whole free Kobe
Mainoo. Yeah.
Right. So there's just all these beautiful narratives, but it all revolved around this, which is that everybody and their mothers could see what Amorim refused to, which is that you got to have a Kobe Mainoo in the midfield, pairing him with a Casemiro. And then it's a 4-2-3-1. So guess where Bruno Fernandes has been playing? He's been playing up as the 10, literally right behind the striker, creating everything. And that's it. Of all the other shit that Michael Carrick is getting credit for or not, and I think the reason why, I gotta say, the smarter football pundits are still not totally buying in on Carrick, is that what he did was just so obvious, and it's worked so amazingly well. He paired Casemiro with Kobe Mainoo and then pushed up Bruno Fernandes and played a 4 in the back. And it's worked like fucking wildfire, and it's made Bruno Fernandes have his best season, Casemiro have his best season, and it's freed Kobe Mainoo. And just like that. So I would argue that the entire United transformation is simply because of a tactical formation shift, especially in the midfield.
And does that mean, so that means also Casemiro's probably being more of a box 8 because he's getting a ton of headers and stuff in around the goal, right?
So I would check most of those. Most of them are coming off of corner kicks or set pieces. He's not necessarily open play running up and doing that. These are a lot of preset plays where just he and Bruno know exactly how to do it.
So are they a double pivot then, just kind of in the middle, just generally he sometimes gets ahead, but
it exactly is. This is a double pivot, and one of them is a savvy vet, and one of them is just the fly around,
very
young,
rangy, athletic, young stuff. Right.
And then they have 4 in the back. And so they're not open with 3.
Right.
And I mean, fuck.
They're also not going wide. It just makes much sense. Your talent's in the middle of the pitch. Their best players in the middle of the pitch. Why would you put a formation where everything's out wide? It doesn't really make much sense.
Exactly. When you're wide was Patrick Dorgu and Diogo Dello.
Right. I'd rather get the ball to them or Bruno Fernandes. Let's think about this.
Right.
Bruno.
And you saw, that stat too that I sent you guys, which was Bruno Fernandes has twice as many shot creation opportunities as any other player in the Prem. 2 times. And
Yeah,
that's with a
it's
team
really
that wasn't
absurd.
very good in the first half. And
By
was
the way,
playing this
do
formation.
you know who's number 2 on that list?
Declan Rice.
It's Florian Wirtz, right?
It's Florian
Is it
Wirtz.
Florian Wirtz?
Yeah, I saw that.
I thought it
Isn't
was
that
Declan.
insane? Well, of course you thought it was Declan, but it's
I don't
insane.
think, no. Yeah,
He's
it's Florian
created
Wirtz.
the
I remember
second
like that.
most chances of anybody.
But those haven't worked out. So I guess the question is,
Right.
I know he's been good in this. He's been
No, he
pretty
certainly
good in
doesn't have the
this
second most assists.
No, definitely doesn't have that. Which is a whole other problem. We could do a whole show on Liverpool.
Yeah.
Anyway, that makes a lot of sense. And I wonder, so it feels like for some of these teams that are struggling, I wonder how many times it is simply a shift, or is it the players, or is it, I guess it's probably different for everybody, but United was simply locked.
United was simply a tactical shift, and I think what makes it so fun is that it was one of these such an obvious tactical shifts that every single person, media, fan, coach, or whatever, was like, we can see it, so it's just
right.
a matter
Why
of
can't
like
you all? It's so funny to me, like how often in sports, not just in the Premier League, but in sports in general, is that like the big brain in the room gets in the way of the obvious. You know what I mean? I think like not to bring it off Premier League, but like I think the NFL draft is a perfect example of that.
Yeah.
All these teams are like, I'm the smartest guy in the room, and I'm going to pick this really traitsy player because my coaches are going to be able to get the most out of him, and then he's out of the league in 2 years, and there's the guy right behind him that ends up being an all-pro. And it's like, oh yeah, pick the guy with a lot of production. You know what I mean? So it's like,
right.
Sometimes it's like, just go with the obvious thing, and it tends to work out.
Right. Versus who's your best player? Bruno Fernandes. Okay, so get him in the ball in the most dangerous positions he can. And then he will all of a sudden turn your team from an embarrassment to comfortable Champions League.
Totally.
Maybe the third best team in the league this year.
Yeah, for real.
I mean,
yeah.
it is interesting, and of course, like I can't help but of course think about how that applies to my team, and thinking about what's coming up for that, because that's going to be an interesting off season. But let's thank you, Sam. I think let's wrap that.
That was fun.
Last thing I will say,
last
last downstream effect of all this is that, like, it's crazy how much power. This is why I still think just like the managers in this sport is the most powerful, because it's crazy how much power the manager has. If Ruben Amorim didn't get changed over, sorry, I'll say it this way. Since Ruben Amorim got changed, and since now the formation allows Casemiro to be great again, Casemiro gets one more World Cup for Brazil. And he's probably going to start in the midfield. And he absolutely wouldn't have sniffed the squad if it was Casemiro of last year or the first half of this year.
That's fair.
And now it's like he gets one more World Cup for Brazil, where, I mean, are you kidding me? Like, so it's just
that's pretty sweet. Who's that midfield? That's a fun. Is that Bruno Guimaraes, Casemiro?
We'd have to look at it. We'll have to do like a World Cup. We'll do like Prem into World Cup, like kind of Appy, where we'll highlight some of the big squads. Because it'll be super interesting. Like and then you'll just like, oh, there's like a lot of really good players on this team. And then like you see the England team and you're like, oh God, they're so good.
Yeah.
How are they now? Have they not won a World Cup?
Because it's more mental than anything. Yeah, it's all mental.
It's all mental, and it's funny too. You talk about the managers, and Michael sent us a text earlier that said it was like, oh, Pep's in top form, like with him doing it. And it's like Pep's in form, like Pep is in form. So the team is like in form, like the manager is in form, so the team is in form.
He had a conference and he's just chewing the fat. He's talking about, oh yeah, I went and saw some like lower league English side because PSG, Byron, crap managers, crap players, or whatever the hell he said. It's just
and you're like,
God,
oh
Pep
shit, Pep's in form.
Pep's in form. That makes you nervous.
You know what's so funny?
Pep's in form, but I was like, you got it.
Well, I was going to say something, but just so when Chelsea obviously have an interim manager again, his first match ever was against Pep at the start of the season when he was interim the first time, and they showed a stat that was like Pep Guardiola, 1,200 games, 6 Premier League titles, 3 Champions League. Callum McFarlane, 1 game, and we're like, what? And now he's coming back. His third game in charge is now in his second interim stint against Pep again, and it's in the FA Cup
final,
and it's just like
Wembley.
In the FA Cup final, it's like, it's just hilarious. Like the manager thing, and they show it's just so funny. The manager, like way they talk about them. And
Did
show
wait?
them.
Did you guys tie? Did you guys tie that game? It was like kind of a close.
We
it was a close
tied.
game,
We
right?
tied. I was at
Yeah.
the pub. That we scored. We scored in the
I don't
90th
know.
minute and tied.
I don't know.
We drew. I mean,
Finals, one game. You never know.
you never know. And apparently these players really love this guy. So like, which is great because they didn't care for Rosignor.
It's worked
I think
wonders
the
for
last
United.
the last thing that I will say on the Pep stuff is that I would say that Man City's most difficult remaining match is their next one at Everton. And with Arsenal already clearing the 3-point cushion, I'm just saying, for as much as Pep is this and City's back and all this kind of stuff, as a Liverpool fan, I know how difficult it is to go to Everton. That's not an easy match.
No. And they played Villa at the end of the season.
So
that one maybe has less stakes at that point. But
let's close on that then. So this weekend,
That's a little steak, baby steak.
This weekend,
a petite filet, if you will.
This weekend,
a mini steak.
This weekend, Monday, they play that game Monday at 3. That's a Monday at 3 game. City. I know because Chelsea plays at 10 a.m. on Monday. Like what? Against Forest. It's because of the FA Cup. They messed up their schedules. And then
you guys just keep winning all these competitions. They got too much fixtures.
It is. So I said to the guys, there is a Chelsea. They put an Instagram post like, vote for your favorite goal of the month, and there usually there's 10 clips. There was 4 because they scored. Literally, they only scored 1 Premier League goal this month. 1. I mean,
That's
like
crazy.
The favorite goal was Tosin's header because it was the only goal that happened.
Yeah.
Like it's like,
yeah.
And Tosin was in. Oh, it tells you everything you need to know. But looking at this weekend, any games you're excited about? Close on. Anything that we need to? I haven't even really looked. Who do we have this weekend? We have Leeds Burnley today. No one cares about that. Sorry, Leeds Burnley.
Quick sidebar on Tosin. He played last match and he actually played.
He actually looked pretty good. Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
I am excited about United Liverpool because if you guys win,
that's a fun game. That's a fun game.
All of a sudden, you're pushing for third, Sam.
Which means absolutely nothing. So it doesn't. I actually now the rest of the season for Liverpool is just like I'm fine. Like we've qualified for Champions League. I don't care if we're 3rd or 5th. It doesn't matter. It wasn't good enough, and Slot needs to go.
Not good enough.
I'm actually totally fine with. To be honest, I'm actually totally fine with losses from here on out. Just as a long-term Liverpool fan, I'm totally fine with losses.
To get better draft pick? I mean, for why?
Damn, dude. What an American
to increase
sports fan.
To increase
the
likelihood
they firing Slot.
Oh, I see. Okay.
So I actually am like reasonably meh about Liverpool United, which is saying something. I think the match I am most curious
Spurs
about
at Villa.
is Spurs at Villa.
Spurs Villa's fun.
Oh my God, that's fun.
Yeah, because Villa's not playing well right now.
No, they lost 1-0 to fucking Forest in the Europa League.
Yeah, and Villa's got a lot going on their plate, so that's interesting.
And I'm rooting. Villa needs to fucking win. They need to win the Europa League to give my boys even the slightest bit of an outside shot of getting a Champions League, which is confirmed.
That outside shot is it's could happen. So no,
Villa has to win though, so they have to win.
Pick a game. Tottenham, Villa.
I agree.
I would probably say that one, but then no, the one that is. The ones that listen, it's a title race. So you got to look at the title race matches, and Arsenal Fulham. I don't think is that juicy. I think it's going to be A, super fucking boring, and I think B, Arsenal will win relatively comfortably.
Fulham is one of those tricky teams because they do pop up every now and again and have a pretty good game.
I think this is a take the 3 points and pretty much cash it to the bank. Okay, and now
okay, I see what you're doing. Okay, I see exactly what you're doing.
By the way, Michael, you would do that. You would do that all the time.
Yes, I'm only returning the favor for exactly what he used to do.
Used to do that all the time.
Oh, so that's a win. He literally always do that. So that's 3 points, right, Sam? So fuck you. But no,
the truth comes out finally.
Yeah, and go fuck yourself.
The match of the week. The match of the week is the last one on Monday. The Everton City match has the most.
That's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun.
I agree.
Oh, it's gonna be fun. God, I think I have a meeting during that. Oh boy.
God, I hope Everton do us a favor, Everton.
Well, boys, let's wrap that up. Let's call it a day. Appreciate your time. It was a fun one. The gloves only came out for a little bit. We will see. We will see Premericans next week after another interesting weekend of Premerican ball. Hopefully, it'll be more entertaining this weekend. Some more high flying running around. Goodbye, everybody. Adios.